into your legs. And maybe you just give your legs a little shake back and forth. And then letting go with your hips, letting go of any tension in your tummy if you have any butterflies or any anxieties that you're holding there. Letting go of your chest, shoulders, arms, letting everything sink down. Again, coming into the body. And feeling the connection and what it feels like to be in the body. I think sometimes we're super disconnected because we need to operate from our mind. What does it feel like to feel the rest of you and not just be in your head? Letting your shoulders go, neck, head, eyes. Good. And then hopefully you already feel a little bit more relaxed even now, just after that couple deep breaths. Next, we're gonna bring our feet and place them on the ground, so bending your knees. And we're just gonna start by taking the right foot into the right knee into the chest, so pulling the knee into the chest. And then just moving it in some circular motions. So taking your knee and like making circles, pretend you're making circles on the wall behind you. This should feel nice for your lower back, your hips. And then moving the other way in the circle, so changing directions. And getting some mobility, some blood flow into the right hip. And then when you're ready, you can straighten that leg and push your heel up to the ceiling. So you're gonna try to straighten the right leg. Yeah, as much as you can. I'm already feeling a stretch in the back of my hamstring. And if you want, you can straighten the left leg if that feels okay on your lower back. If not, keep it bent. And then just try to press your heel up to the ceiling, lifting the leg out of the hip a little bit, just a tiny bit. And then breathe here, opening up the back of the right leg. And if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can grab onto some part of your back of your leg. You could grab onto the shin, onto the hamstring, and just give it a little pull. Making sure the foot is flexed. Trying to stamp your heel into the ceiling. Stamp the bottom of your foot into the ceiling. And if you notice, when you do that, the stretch intensifies. Good. And then we're going to take this and move the right leg and foot across the body over to the left. So keep it straight. Heel is still pushing, and you're just crossing it over to the left. So this should give you a really good stretch in your IT band on the right. You can take your right hand and put it out to the right just to kind of balance yourself out. My foot is nowhere near the ground, and that's okay, but I can feel this intense stretch in my IT band on the right side. So just breathing into that. Continue to flex your foot so your heel is pushing, your bottom of your foot's pushing out. And we'll do one more deep breath here. And when you're ready, you can bring that knee back into the chest. I hope that felt good. And then we're going to switch sides. So now taking the right foot down and the left knee comes in. And again, you can straighten the right leg if you want, but if it hurts your back, then just keep it bent. So now rotating that right knee, the left knee, and drawing circles with it. And you can make them small, you can make them bigger, whatever feels good for your hip. You might feel some compression, and that's okay as long as there's no pain. And then take it to the other side. Good, just getting some blood flow in there. And then when you're ready, you can straighten that leg, stamping the bottom of your foot up onto the ceiling. Whoa, that one's tighter than the other one. So your leg might not even look straight. Your knee might be bent like mine, and that's okay. As long as you're energetically pushing that foot up to the sky, but both hips are on the ground. Hips stay on the ground. And then if you want to intensify, you can gently pull that leg back towards you. Breathing here. This is a really intense stretch. Notice if you're holding in your right quad and let that go. I just noticed I was really tensing up in the right quad. Let that go. Exhaling, feeling that intense stretch in the back of your leg, and then taking it over to the right just like we did on the other side. Compensating if you want by taking your left hand out. Making sure the foot is still flexed. Ooh, that is intense. So just breathing through it. Deep breaths, letting it go then. And one more breath here. Getting really deeply into the IT band. And you're probably going to feel it in your bum as well. And still the hamstring. Okay, when you're done, you can bring that knee now back into the chest. Just give it a nice little squeeze. Thank you, knee, and thank you, leg. You did so good. And then taking your both feet now to the ground, bending your knees. Now we're going to come up on into a seated position. So however you can do that, that's comfortable for you. So coming up now into cross-legged position. Actually, we're gonna do butterfly. So we're just gonna get to the inside of our legs now. So we got the outsides, the back. We're gonna get into the groin area. So taking your feet and your soles of your feet together in front of you. And then you can stay here if that's good. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, first lengthen through the crown, straight back, yep, up to the ceiling, and then folding from the hips if you want to come down a bit. And everybody's pose is going to look different, but what you should feel is some opening in the insides of the legs through the groin. Breathing here, and with each breath you might come out a little bit, and then with the exhale you might go a little bit deeper. You can try to have a flat back, folding from the hips and not rounding through the back for the first breath, first two breaths. And then on your last breath, inhaling, reaching the crown forward, and then exhaling, go ahead and fold over and release everything now. So you can round your back, hang your head, chin to chest. This is going to be just a really nice, relaxing, great for the lower back, the hips. And now, if you are moving your chin to your chest, it's going to get into the back of your neck too, hopefully. And let's do 2 more deep breaths here. I'm really digging this pose. One more deep breath. Make it as long of an exhale as you can. So inhale. Try to do a 7 count for your exhale. 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. And then you can kind of roll up, bringing your feet to the ground. Knees are bent. Let's do some windshield wipers back and forth, releasing the hips, releasing the lower back. Good. Okay, we worked a bit on the back of the body. Let's move to the front. So we're gonna come up to hands and knees now. So just get yourself situated so that your hips are over your knees, shoulders over your wrists. And then I want you to ever so slightly engage your core, okay? So we're not like doing this like cow thing right now. We're having a nice flat back. Imagine you could balance a teacup on there. And we're gonna do some not cat-cow, sorry. I'm so used to saying that. We're gonna do something called bird dog. So this is a bit of a balancing core strengthener. So we'll start by pushing the right leg and stamping your bottom of your foot to the back wall, nice and straight. But you don't want your hip to roll out. So if it rolled out, just compensate and push it down a bit. And then we're gonna take the left hand, reaching out with the left hand. Good job, yes. Nice job, guys. So all the while making sure your tail's tucked, spine is straight, and just breathing through this. 2 more breaths here. Feeling the butt muscles work. The whole chain in the back is working. Oh yeah, we're still getting into the back muscles. We're gonna go do into the front soon. Okay, so letting that go. Let's do a couple cat-cows to rinse it out, okay? So inhale, reaching up, belly drops, looking up, exhale, round, 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 cat. Good, inhaling, looking up, and exhaling, rounding for cat. Okay, and then coming back to neutral so we can do that on the other side. This is so good for core and posture. So now taking the left leg back, straightening it behind you, then adjusting your hips so they're on the same plane, the same equal plane. And then when you're ready, I had to move around a little bit before I lifted up my right hand. When you're ready, reaching your right hand out in front of you. Good job. Check in with your shoulders, make sure they're not up around your ears. This is a hard pose. It's balance, it's core, it's everything. Let's try to do 2 more breaths here. If anything's bothering you, come on out and you can get back into it. Good, keeping your tummy tucked, tummy engaged. All right, let's release that and pop back into child's pose. Releasing the back, all the work that the lower back and the spine just did. Let that go. Relaxing into child's pose for 2 deep breaths. If thoughts come knocking at your mind's door, just tell them you're busy and you will deal with them later. Those thoughts will be there for you after we're done. For now, feeling into the body. Okay, coming back up to hands and knees now. We are going to do some low lunges now to get into the front of the body. So we can take our let's start with our left leg today. Taking your left leg and bringing your foot right in between your hands. We're just getting into a low lunge in a very easy way. I'm going to use some blocks here. And you can come up into the higher lunge, like where your knees are at a 90-degree angle, or you can move into more of a deep hip stretch on the right. So whatever works for you today. So in the low lunge, I have my hands on blocks, but you're welcome to have them on your knees, whatever works well for you in this pose. We've done low lunge 1,000 times, so just feel free to enjoy it. Feel the deep stretch in the left hip flexor. Feel the left in the right hip flexor. Feel the left leg doing some work for you. Good, and then tucking your tail, remembering to protect the lower back in this pose. Awesome. And then when you're ready, we're just gonna take the right hand down. Left hand is on the knee. And we're just gonna open up to the left in a super relaxed twist. So just a really chill, not too effortful, but opening up the left side. And then just enjoy the twist for a moment, rinsing out all the toxins, bringing some blood flow to the organs, helping your digestion. Good. And then coming back to center, now we're going to straighten the left leg and move back into half splits. Good, getting into the left hamstring again. This might look like a balancing pose too if you don't have blocks on you. And you can flex and point the foot if that feels good. Pointing the foot is going to get more into the front of the front of the calf, the front of the leg. So maybe take some time to point and flex. That might feel good. Just moving that around, increasing the, I guess, blood flow. Yeah, blood flow up your leg. Good. And then we can come back to all fours. We're just going to switch to the other side. So let's just do a few cat-cows first. So you can do some interesting cat-cows if you want. You could do some figure eights or like just moving in whatever feels good for you right now. So I'm just doing some figure eights with my hips just to get into the hips a bit more. And then I'll switch directions because that just feels good. And it doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to feel good in your body. So no thinking about this, just feeling about this. Good, okay, we're gonna switch to the other side when you're ready. So bringing the right foot in between your hands now. And then just adjusting for whatever kind of low lunge you feel like doing today. So mine is kind of more of a, I'm just kind of getting really deep into the left hip flexor. And opening up the chest too is always an option. So you can clasp your hands behind your back. So now you're opening your chest as you're opening the left hip flexor. Front of the body is opening up. Heart is open. Feeling compassion for yourself. Feeling compassion for those around you. Good. And then when you're ready, push back into the half splits, getting into the right hamstring again. Because my hamstrings are always tight. I don't know about you guys. I'm assuming yes. Anyone who does a lot of running, sitting at desks, yeah, our hamstrings are going to be tight. So moving around, flexing and pointing your foot if that feels good. I really like that. And if something feels really juicy and you want to just hold it there, then go ahead and do that too. Okay, from here, we are going to go into pigeon on the right side. So just removing your blocks. And then you're just basically scooting your foot over to move into pigeon. It might not look pretty, and that's okay. And once you get there, just adjust your hips to make sure they're on an even plane and that they're not opening out to the right. And then you can say an active pigeon up like I am, and this is like opening up the chest and the heart a little bit more if you feel like that's what you need tonight. If you feel like you need to kind of protect yourself and just kind of keep your heart close to yourself, or if you just feel like you want to go down into the relaxing pose, just come on down, forehead to hands, and breathe there. Tonight I'm going to be opening. Tonight I feel safe enough to open up my heart. Other nights I don't, so just whatever suits you. And just breathing here, making sure there's no tension in your shoulders and feeling that really deep release through your hip. letting the thoughts settle. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the left leg and swing it around, woo, over to half Lord of the Fish. So your left foot's going to end up on the outside of your right knee. We're going to do a twist here. It's making sure this is comfortable. If not, you can just do cross-legged twist with me if this isn't comfortable. So when you're ready, the left hand will come behind you. And then you'll feel your crown growing and lengthening up to the ceiling. Reaching your right hand up so you get that length first, and then grabbing your knee, twisting to the left. Good, and just making sure you can breathe here. So making sure you can take some nice deep breaths. If not, just come out a little bit. But if you find that you are comfortable here, then on your next deep breath, on the exhale, you can twist a little deeper. For the last breath, inhaling in, twisting even deeper and looking to the left. So look behind you. And that will be the full expression of the twist. And then exhaling, coming back to neutral, taking your hands over to the right and just doing a little bit of a counter twist to the right. It should feel good. It doesn't have to be any certain way. Awesome. Okay, let's unravel this mess here. Bringing your legs out in front of you. Let's just wiggle our feet back and forth. Just get some movement into the legs. Yeah, you can like up and down, back and forth. Good, and then we're just gonna switch to the other side. So let's come onto hands and knees first. And now we're gonna take the left foot up and come into a pigeon on the left side, okay? So bringing the knee, the foot up, and just kind of wiggle around until you get situated. Take a look at the right leg. Is it nice and straight and even in the back? Check in with your hips. And now decide on what expression you would like today. The expression where you're coming down and leaning forehead to the earth, that's going to be better for your lower back, a little bit less on your lower back. So if your back is feeling a little sore, that one might be better. The other thing you can do is you can come down on your elbows, so you're releasing your lower back, but you're still opening up your heart. So there's various ways you can do that. So inhaling here, feeling that nice deep stretch through the left side now. Letting your thoughts linger with your left hip. Feeling the chest opening up, looking up. Compassion for yourself. Gratitude that you're here today. Gratitude for each other, and that we have been consistent in our practice and continue to show up for ourselves and each other. Good. And then when you're ready, could be moments from now, anytime. Don't feel rushed. We're going to swing around the right leg and do the twist on the other side. So just getting situated so that both bum cheeks are on the ground. The right sole of the foot should be fully touching the ground. And if that's not possible, it's totally fine. Just go into the other version of the twist. Okay, so lengthening the spine. Crown is lifted. Left hand is reaching up as high as you can, and then coming into the twist. Nice. Good. Breathing here. Opening up the chest, moving around the lymph, getting rid of toxins, starting fresh. This is good for the immune system too, as we're coming into the holidays. It's so stressful, people are getting sick, it's so busy. Okay, and then if you would like, on your last out breath, full expression by looking behind your shoulder if you can. And then on the exhale, coming back to center. And moving to the other side just for a quick counter stretch. So taking your hands and then putting them on the left side now, and just counter stretch. Good. Okay, I don't even think we're going to come up at all today. I think we're just gonna stay on the ground. We have about 10 more minutes, so we're just gonna continue to do stretches on the mat. So I hope that's okay with everyone. Let's get into the hips a little bit more. So this one is tricky. This one is the, I forgot the name all of a sudden, but this is the one where you're putting your knees, like you're lining up your knees on top of each other. So this is a little bit tricky, and if that doesn't work, then I would like you to come down. Oh, shoelace pose. So shoelace pose can be done on the ground with your knees crossed over each other. It can also be done seated. So whatever works for your knees, really check in with your knees on this one. Good, and then as you breathe in, you're gonna expand everything. If you're sitting up, your chest is your crown is lengthening. And then on the exhale, you can, if you're sitting, on the exhale, you can lean over, bending from the hips, lean over your legs and just getting even more into your right glute. Hands can come out in front of you. And then just breathe here. More of a really intense release for the left glute here. One more breath here. And then pushing yourself up, or if you're on your back, unwinding your legs and crossing the other way now. So we're gonna get into the left side now with shoelace pose. So lining up your knees, making sure your knees are stacked on each other. And then lifting the crown up, lengthening your neck. And if you're on the ground, what you're doing is you're pulling your feet into you and then pushing against your hands to intensify the stretch. If you're seated, you're just going to come over, hands come in front, and you're just folding over ever so slightly. Hopefully you're going to be feeling this in the left hip. I still feel it in the right hip, even though we're on the other side. So one more deep breath here. And then we're going to unwind everything. Whether you're on your back or on your bum, let's do some windshield wipers again. Just a couple to release the hips. And then we're going to open up the front of the body a little bit more. So now coming down onto your belly, I'm going to go into Sphinx pose. So just getting into your belly, however works for you. Elbows are bent at a 90-degree angle. Hands are out in front of you. And basically, if you want to stay right here, that's totally fine. I just want you to open up the front and feel that stretch in the belly and the chest. And then if you want to increase it a little bit, you can push onto the ground and then open up more by straightening your arms. But if your back is sore, I would really be careful with this. And you can flow kind of from releasing and then pushing up, or you just stay in Sphinx like this and breathe. Tucking the tail will help to protect the back too. So hopefully you can feel an opening in the back body here. Okay, and then one more. Good. Okay, and then just move your bum a little bit around just to release the back, the back. And we're gonna do one strengthening activity for the back. So I can't remember, I can't remember what this is called. So basically we're gonna take our hands, so coming all the way down, you can even put your cheek on the ground just for a second. Let everything relax. Feel your lower back relaxing. And then if this is okay on your lower back, we're gonna clasp our hands together and you're gonna lift up through the chest. Good. So your lower back's tucked. The lift might look really, really small. And then let go. Cheek down, cheek to floor. And then lift up again. Open the chest. Your back body's doing lots of work. Release. Another one. And exhale. One more. Hold here. Good. And then exhale. Let's push back into child's pose just to make sure to release all the back muscles now, because that is strengthening for the lower back, and it's good. We need to strengthen the lower back, but also it can create some soreness too. Good. So we're in child's pose now. Relaxing here. Just letting all the effort sink in. Come to complete relaxation in child's pose. Feeling the release of the lower back and the hips. We did some work, a little bit of work today around the back body. Let's, when you're ready, come on up, and we're just going to do a few neck releases before we close the class. So, oh, Diana's gone. Huh. Okay, so just coming up into seated, we're going to do a little bit of some neck stretches here as we come into the last couple minutes. So if there's one that you want to do that you like better, that's totally cool. Just go ahead and do whatever you like. I'll just lead the regular one where the right ear comes to the right shoulder and then the left hand reaches out. I always like that one. I think it's like really good and intense. If you want more intensity, then you can gently clasp your fingers on the side of your head. Don't pull too much, but just that ever so gently pulling. Breathing here. And then when you're ready, you can switch to the other side. So now left ear to left shoulder. And the right hand reaches out. Good. Breathing here, making sure you're able to take in some nice deep breaths. And then intensify if you like. Good, and then coming to neutral, then let's just do a couple rolls with our neck just to release all of that work. Nice, slow. If you find a spot you really like, you can hold it there. Like my chin is at my right chest and it feels really good. I'm gonna hold it there. Do that on the other side. Like whatever feels juicy in that neck roll and you wanna hold. Just releasing all the tension. And just remembering that it's a stressful time of year. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. I know all the advertisements are telling you that everyone's happy and that this is the best time of the year, but that's not reality. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're not feeling happy and merry and bright. Okay, so coming to center, let us take our hands to our chest in prayer and thank each other, thank ourselves for being here, and the kitty cat. Bring your hands to your chest, kitty cat. Good, and then we'll just close with a nice bow. So just folding over. Good. Coming on up. Great. That was an awesome class. Thank you so much for being here. Survive the holidays, and we'll see you on the other side.